set animals on the side of the road. Because this is the area and the time of night that kind of stuff happens. Oh, there were critters off to the side of the road back there. Hopefully they are not out and about on the road. Hope is that there's still enough traffic on the road that they kind of keep off to the side there. Pretty sure that was a cow elk off to the right back there. Fairly small. Still enough to completely obliterate this car though. Yeah, we're driving towards Heber, Arizona. About 10-15 miles either side of Heber is kind of the danger zone. I really try to avoid driving this stretch of road this time of night. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Fingers and toes crossed driving through here. Reminds me of that radio talk show where a lady called in talking about those deer crossing signs that they got on the side of the road, and how she had noticed that a lot of deer like to cross the road right around those signs. And man, wouldn't it make sense if somebody took those signs and moved them somewhere else to get the deer to cross at some other place in the road, you know, maybe some area where people have less of a likelihood of hitting them. And the talk show host was trying his hardest to understand this, like one of these signs right here. He was trying his hardest to understand if this lady was talking about, well, if they move the sign, if the deer will pay attention to the signs and then decide to cross at a different area because the deer are paying attention to the signs. Because that's kind of crazy. But sure enough, that's exactly what the lady thought happens, is that the deer pay attention to those signs and cross where those signs are. She had no realization or understanding that that was a warning to drivers that deer frequently cross in this area and to watch out for them. She had no idea that was the intent of them. She totally thought that the deer paid attention to the signs and would cross where those signs were. Oh, it was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sure if it's still up on the YouTubes, go find that one. That was well worth your time. As much as I hate to say it, knock on wood, but sometimes it sure is nice to have somebody running in front of you. If something happens, they may act as a sacrificial battering ram to plow into any wildlife that decides it wants to jump across the road, because usually they jump in front of the one in the front for some unknown reason. I don't know how many times I've been driving on 2-lane blacktop like this in the middle of the woods, going pretty slow, and the person behind me having zero desire to pass me and go in front, because they sure were happy for me to be that battering ram should an animal jump out in front of us. We should be coming up to Heber pretty soon here. Chances of that when you're close to town drop down pretty significantly. Here we go again. So I got somebody behind me. I'm going, the speed limit-ish. People usually like to haul ass on this road. This being nighttime, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy behind me is perfectly happy just sitting there, because I'm the sacrificial battering ram should the need arise. Fingers crossed it does not. Fortunately, he's given me enough room behind me if I need to hammer down on the brakes. Hopefully he doesn't plow into me. And hopefully another couple miles we get ourselves out of the danger zone. We won't have to worry about that quite so much. Oh, knucklehead. Probably has no idea what he's getting himself into. Again, I hope nothing happens to him, but pretty good sign they don't realize the situation they're putting themselves in. Well, we're still pretty well traveled right now, so hopefully he's all good.